Tonight, a school board race is usually nonpartisan, but this year, several Mankato candidates have received support from political organizations.
Some on the school board disapprove, while the organizations believe that politics have made their way into schools. Those candidates who have been endorsed say it's just about supporting the community. Sophia Jernander has the story.
In a year of political tension and historic races, local school board elections are usually a spot of nonpartisan relief. But this year, several candidates have been recommended by organizations such as the Blue Earth County Republicans.
Running for school board and even our city council is, I think, best when it's nonpartisan.
Local Republicans say that they are not endorsing anyone, just recommending, and that it comes in response to people asking them who they should vote for.
It's a sense of the party that we're going to. We like this person better than that person.
There has also been some debate around the importance of bringing LGBTQ issues into the school curriculum.
If we have students, LGBTQ students that need support, we're going to find a way to support them.
Like much of the curriculum in the school system, the LGBT issues in the schools definitely have been very politicized.
However, one of the candidates who received a recommendation from the local GOP says he's not running for school board to bring politics into the schools.
You want to keep friends. You want to keep your identity in the community as just a normal guy, a good person who cares about what they're doing. Keep politics out.
Instead, as a father of 5 daughters and a teacher of students throughout the community, he's concerned about bullying.
A lot of my students here, I hear stories of how their parents aren't feeling like they're being listened to. They tell the teacher there's no follow-up.
While political tensions are high, Flynn doesn't intend to bring it into the school board if he's elected. He just wants to make kids safe.
As a school board member, you're not there to bring in your personal beliefs into the system. It doesn't matter what I believe in, it matters what the community believes. It's what the community wants, because we work for them.
In Mankato, Sophia Jernander, KEYC News Now.
You can cast your ballot for school board candidates through November the 5th.